Coming in recognition of timelines and communications, high forcing all levels right now through rotation. So what's going to happen is you guys have to get into your body graph illumination centers in position. So what we're going to do is we're going to travel to the moon, and then we're going to travel to Mars. All right, it's in the vector core line center, XYZ in position locations, box center to communications, teleport line center. So it's all structured in locations. But before we do that, I have to show you this video. It's on Space Discovery Season 2, okay, Episode 3, Synchronizing Planet Positions. This is going to get you in set rotation. Okay, so once you see this video, it's about 2 to 3 minutes. I really want you to understand how to clock your systems through gateways. All right, because I set the map sequence to its positions. You guys are going to go through many, many tunnels. You have to understand what's going on because you guys are high rising now. You're in high rotation positions. But it's amazing how we go into the compute line center to a new anomaly. We got to switch the line centers to positions of Mars and activate the core line center and set up a whole shape anomaly to their new Earth rotation, which is going to change all levels of hologram interference. That programs your position locations. So you're going to read position locations, and your body graph is going to illuminate the high line rotation conditions interference channel. It's going to evolve triangle line interference position to your location conditions because your body is nothing but a geographical map. You have to read this because you wake up every morning and you're traveling through it through its condition. So it's kind of like looking through a mirror and actually seeing yourself in space and actually see what you've created in positions, right? So it's really fascinating how you guys are going to higher levels of that rotation. So hope everybody's doing well. I'll give you guys 5 minutes to communicate with each other. That's what I made. Hola, ¿cómo estás? So she comes like 2 days a week, and then next week it's another 3 days. So 2 days this week, 3 days next week. So how's everybody doing so far after being upgraded to line system rotations? Okay. So it's mostly important just to concentrate on yourself. That I want to make sure that everybody gets the travels in. Everything's in position locations, no negative line centers or anything line conditions. Just focus on yourself. So anybody that comes in, all I want you to understand is that just focus on yourself, and that's all you need to do. I know there's moderators on there in line rotations, but there's extremely high positions because remember, we're traveling to higher proactive systems. Everything in position is allocated to the line center of solar system locations. You have the sun and the moon, the track system. Every time we travel to a planet system, especially that's the ones that are synchronized to its gateway interference, there's so much security, high defense line center. So nobody can get in track system. The face recognition of timeline center is already allocated to its timeline rotation. So don't worry about that. So just concentrate on yourself in that line center. If anything gets out of the way in position location, then it gets in conditions of harming system or anything like that, just be cautious and understanding what you're doing. Things that are put in positions when I go live, I'll take the negative system outside the door line rotation, but there's an extremely high center position to all levels of gateways when we come into all levels of transmutations of communications of the moon and everything to the Mars. All right. So I want to make sure everybody gets in positions, okay, because there's a lot of fallouts right now. All right. So it's all about understanding position. I sent you guys 2 videos too on what's going on. Also the one with the silver surfer. Patience is a virtue, right? Everything's unfolding. That's what you have to truly understand. So everybody watch this video, okay? Now when you watch this video, try to get a true understanding what it's all about, okay? Let's see here.
Now in episode 3, you want to go through communication signals when it comes into synchronizing systems to its planet positions of vibrations, as I talk about everything through the simulation graph and everything through its connection. Stay tuned, you don't want to miss it. As planets high rise, they volume on so many levels of interforcing connections. Keeping them in their central realm, the planets have to be line signal through each other. It puts in traction locations to its tele-energy waves. As the colors reach higher formations of operations, the weather of formation is conformed throughout the galaxy alignments. This is forcing the gamma locations to its computer operation system. Planets consume energy of X-ray of digital numbers. As the solar system is a humongous sphere of cycling rotation, the wind spin generators connects to all operations of its center position. As wormholes come in, it connects to higher of vibrations. The variation tactics and its form of lights goes on so many radiation pulsar, polarity, and infusions of its equations. This puts diameter meters of metric levels to the travel positions of its clocking system. Clocking planets is exceptionally crucial to time code positions. The planes of lines set up the anomalies for new cycles of space and time frames. Each frame has a specific shape that is used in the matrix, which is called the tesseract. It comes into its creation as it goes into its sides of its planetary system of dimensions and surfaces on so many levels of hydrogen speed and attraction positions. As it comes into time of all existence, it comes into a new gravity systems of matrix anomalies. All gravities of planets poise to their elements of archetypes. This wind and relocates the galaxies to its sentience view. The optical levels of space reduces its particle system to its atoms, to its positions, as it comes into the simulation and its nature core of its interference location.
Okay, so hopefully everybody truly understand that, because it's important you understand how to travel through gateways, okay? And this is all done through the clocking system, where you have to synchronize line signals, all level positions, to your cosmic fire, your elixirs, and everything to your serpent flame, okay? Serpent fire, serpent flame. It's all in position locations. But it's truly understanding that you have to understand the clocking system of synchronizing systems locations, all right? So it's all set up to travel. All you have to understand is basically you're trying to find the creation of your space. And when you come into the now, which you guys are in, and the galactic forces are coming into that, is to understand what do you have inside, okay, to understand how to get into creating. Okay, once you start to remember who you are and all levels, when you go to higher level position, you understand more creation, and then you're creating the now, which is extremely powerful because everything is affecting you and your physical reality, right? So, and this is how you get things through manifestations, but you have to truly stand the operation of you, how to travel through gateways, how to travel through dimensions, how to set up portals, how to set up code signals, how to set up electrical door line centers, how to set up panel interference. It's all programs of you, all right? So that's a very powerful video that it is, Space Discoveries, okay? Season 2, Episode 3. All right, so when you see this through travel, you guys are going to go into, I'm going to put you into 25 minutes. We've got a lot to do with connections. So we're going to travel through the moon to the Mars, location XYZ, factoring communications to all level rotation to its connections, all right? All right, so when you see this, you'll be blown away again. It's all about understanding how to travel through the graph rotation of U through calculations. Now, in position, we're coming into new wave, new cycle rotations to a compute line center. To its connections equals alliance, okay? Sun graph line center communications, all positions to the moon, all right? We got the vector core position locations into high line centers to the new Earth rotation, graphing its communication to its ground line center, okay? Operate to its ball positions. We got a solar graph line center, spectrum light interference. We got a cyclone line center and communication to compute level system. Telegraphing to telecommunications, XYZ equals moon / arrival to Mars. Need communication line centers, center operation position locations, rendezvous connections to the galactic forces, everything through the GFLs and everything through rebellion. Set them up through course of rotation to positions, teleport their line center connections, travel through records of timeline. Countdown 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Accelerate line center connections, teleport line interference coming out of portal location. High position to conditions of high rotation conditions. Sun graphing line center, flux capacitor interference is coming to channel rotation conditions, high positions to the moon, traveling to the Mars line rotation. This is you guys in rotation line center. All right, so we're in this position locations. All right, so this is all set up. Try to see what's going on. This is the map that we have to get to the locations. You're going to start here, and then we're going to go to here. You're going to travel here, and then we're going to go to here. That's Mars. Okay. So it's all set up through flux capacitor interference dimensional portal locations, all done through XYZ. Okay. It's all about understanding how to arrive to these location centers. Okay. So activate core line center positions, all position to alliances coming in track system. Allocate line center. Okay, so you guys are going to go through tunnels right now. Okay, allocate line center rotations. Here we go. Teleport line center. Okay, change your particle light system. You're going to go to the gravity switch. That's going to change rotation to its position. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. All right, so you start in here. Now we're going to follow the map. We're going to go through tunnel, 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 all the way over to Mars. Okay. So here we go. Allocate line conditions, changing rotations. You're going to feel a bit like woozy. You know, you're like in a roller coaster, but it's going like this way, it's going that way. Okay, so here we go, right? Synchronize interference line center. All right, we're there. All right, from here to the all positions to the moon, line center. Here's the graph. You need a geograph line center to GPS location, track consistent location. You're on Mars, 25 minutes, have fun. Get in position locations to its line connections. Truly understand position locations. But it's amazing how you set up graph line centers. All right, so it's all set up. All right, so it's amazing how you do these things through map coordinates, right? From here to here. It's all set up. All right. It's pretty wild how you set these things up, right? It's a center operation, everything positions, okay? There's always a vector core position line conditions. It's just understanding everything through X, Y, Z. Y factor to flux capacitor, everything through the conditions, high positions to all solar direction line center, okay? And the X is position of XT, right, for short. So it's teleportation to the vector line center communications, right, to flux capacitor, okay, to Z-force connections equals moon to its alliance to arrival to Mars. Hooah. 25 minutes, have fun. All right, so you have to understand what you're doing. It's all memory because you've already been there, right? So you have to set up all position locations of a new anomaly switch into calculations of the matrix, into the positions where it comes into me, the architect, to structural locations of this new program setting. So it's interesting how you guys have to use these things when you go to higher levels. Try to understand how powerful it is when you fix these things when we're in space, right? So this center opposite position locations, vector coordinates communications into the now rotation, right? So that's how you set up code line centers, right? It fluctuates its interference. So all right, let's see here. Let's see where we are. How's everybody doing? Tina, Janet Smith, Tina, Janet, how's it going? Lieutenant, Ellen, Commander, Smith, it's great to see you. Christopher, how you doing? Arlene, yeah, Arlene, I upgraded you to high rotation positions. Okay. Sheila, how you doing? Okay, so high-rise line centers to Sheila and everything conditions are Arlene. Get in position locations. Travel direction timeline center to all positions of the moon, to positions, high positions to Mars. Calculate modified line center. Z graph, Z strip locations, vector core line conditions, X, Y, Z. In position, arrival to Mars location. All right, so there you go. Is that why my head really? Balance rotation to conditions of Nikki. High level rotations, fluctuation interference. Nikki, you're in a high line center, so I'm just going to put you back in balance rotation. You're good to go. All right, you guys are communicating. Just it's an indicated thing. All right. Coordinates and remembering this. So cool. And that's it. You guys are just remembering these things. That's all. Yeah, Jen, how you doing? Finally. Well, it's great to see new people. That's excellent. Excellent. All right. Good idea. You guys are doing well. Excellent. Traveling are good. Trying to understand what's going on with you positions on Mars. Number coming down to information. Yep, that's very good, Commander. Knowing what they're doing through position locations, how to travel the direction of time, guys. That's a true standard word. It's mostly important. I sent you a 3-minute video on Space Discovery Season 2, Episode 3, Synchronizing Planets. You have to understand these things, right? So, morning. Veronica, how you doing? So cool. Vortex number of tunnels. Yep, very good, Commander. It's exactly what it is. Whoosh, there you go. Holding your hand. Okay, I thought we're always supposed to go through the sun first. In position, yeah, but you're already activated to the high-line center. So basically, Christopher is already in a set rotation position. It's 24 hours. So you're already going through the sun already. You know what I mean? I don't have to set up the sun. It's already set up for you guys, and that's all through memory. So, and this is where you go into higher levels, right? You don't have to meditate. You're always in space now. So the sun's already an operated system. It's already, because I put it there. As long as I put it in the graph system. And the thing is, every time you travel, you have to have the sun, right? And you have to have the moon, right? So it's all operated, which is 24 hours ahead of time, right? Which is last night. But the sun and the moon is always there. Okay, the sun's already operated through the position locations. You guys go into higher levels, so you should know exactly where you are. Because if you're going through the sun, you're going to see the purple in all positions. But this is already high rise. This is all position locations. It's already set up. As long as I graph the system, it's totally fine. But you get it every single day before we travel, 24 hours, right? So that puts you in position locations, right, to its coordinates, right, to its compute system. So alternates, starting with codes first, roller coaster, stomach, got your hand, okay. All right. I'm feeling so washed out today. Not sure much of my accent I can be today. That's okay. First code is a set of color shapes. Very good, Lieutenant. All right. Sorry, ring glasses typing is off. Juggling the planets for water. Okay, yes, I see the numbers correlate with the shapes of time. Yep. All right. Thanks. When you explain, it makes me feel slightly included. Very good, Nikki. I'm good. Thank you very much. I'm asking. All right. I'm seeing pyramids, different colors. Very good. What a busy airport. So much people traveling. You're looking good. You're adorable. Always makes me smile. Ever thanks to Christ so much yesterday. You guys are cleansing more and more. Elizabeth, how you doing? Brand new. Okay, great. It's great seeing you. Excellent. Fantastic. So hopefully you guys are opened up to this sequence now, because there's a lot more people coming into high formation there. So the gateways are open now, right? The pillars are open to gateways positions. Lights coming into high rotation. Now we're coming into the architect, me. All right. It's all about setting up your dimensionals and your locking system, your code line rotations to your new Earth, right? So I am the architect that's setting you up when you go into your avatars, when you're into your positions. It's time to come home, right, to your new system. So, all right. But everything that we do from now on is in the now position. Okay. That's why it's so real, because it's like you're here, but you're in the now, not in the future. You're in the now, which is amazing because we're changing things in that location. So 4 points, 8 point crossing. How does it look? Choose a color. Want to see pyramids making a hologram of a giant person. Seeing the pie pieces. Yes, the clocking system. Everybody is making their own choice. Yep, intelligence. I haven't seen purple things. Corners of my sight from the light. It was very nice in the class. Yeah, that's just communication to the sun there, Nikki. Looks beautiful. Some people are going to travel faster than others. It all depends on what you're doing through your connections and where you come into your memories. So, big UFO in front of me. Yep, I'm flying in a craft. Received another elixir from the intelligence outing into heart center. That's cool. And the now pouring out. We're making beautiful smoke lines. Yeah, it's me. I'm the architect. Yeah. So it's like reventing, all position locations, renovating your holographic Earth to your code line center rotation to your perception. That's exactly what it is. So I'm in positions right now. So I am now in a high line rotation to all positions to the architect. So you have to really understand your travels now, guys. That's all about understanding. Go through your gateways. But it's amazing how we travel. It's incredible how we travel all the way. It's incredible force. It's amazing how we go from this position and it's gone. See? It's not there anymore, right? That's amazing how it goes in position to the simulation. So it tells me the coordinate line center is already set through calculations. So we don't have to travel anymore because we're already there in position. It's incredible how we communicate through digital pad. It's all set up, right? So lots of maps, love it. Yes, start giving light codes to architect. Yeah. You guys have to understand more of your positions of your pyramids and your hieroglyphics. We're going to come into that because your whole body is nothing but a map. So you have to read your signals, right? Yep. Membrane interference position of the clouds. Those clouds are connected to high level rotation to your connections. You guys got to come into more formations of your compute level system, major grid line rotation, in connections, the compute line center. Okay, the cloud interface. All right. Or else thinking in the architect, I can see an energy streams intertwining, receiving upgrades. Hieroglyphics, our whole body is a map. Yep. I'll choose one to work with, which is in the middle of balance. Very good, Ellen. Everything makes sense. Oh my God. General is tough. Yep. It's exactly what it is, Commander. So I told you I'm everything through energy, everything through form. That's me. I'm all levels of everything. So that's what Lucy is, right? I'm everywhere. So everywhere and anything in form. So it's a psychological line center and position location. You guys are in different perception positions, but the architect comes into high level connections. It's coming into the birth line center of humanity to new species line center. So I set up their digital hologram already. They come out of the matrix, and what I do is I take the mainframe interference to the program line center, restructure, reanalyze, regraph connections to high levels of positions, identification line interference location, set them up to their dimensional of its hologram center, in position to the virtual reality, set the course in positions to its avatar, and they start living their connections to the singularity. So, the simulation. So, me as the architect, everybody's dimensional Earth is different through perception, and it has to be set in positions to your avatar. It's all calculated and modified through your heart reactors. So, yep, the codes are holographic. Yep, very good, Commander. Let's see. I'm starting Big Snakehead, but I've been created. It's on a piece of paper. Let's see. Operation Cobra, Jason Bourne. Jason Bourne, yeah. It is amazing, isn't it, Veronica? Josh, how you doing? How many physical entities are on your equal or greater perception level? I'm on all level, all position, location, all space, time, line, center. So I'm everything through four. I could travel through molecular light and be anything through connections of intelligence and position locations, mutate interference to anything connection. So I'm everywhere and anything on all level positions of perceptions, Josh. Okay. You have to understand that the compute system is you through calculation. We are in position locations. Okay, and the hologram Earth has to understand you through conditions on your avatar. So now what I do is I just set up the archetype system to your dimensional line to its Earth and say, hey, there it is. You just live the existence and you start to understand more of your position to its new Earth system. Calculates, modifies everything. So are you the only one on your level? Yep, only me, nobody else. Only me. I have a team that's high rising extremely fast. So I see the cloud, water, mist, more codes. We have to move around to make them correct. Yeah. Egyptian thing is on paper. I have my crystal grid, seeing the choreograph of the architect's work light up the panel. Very good, Lieutenant. See? Saw a snake last night in my dreams, ignored it. Saw the diamond. You can't really ignore things anymore, Arlene. It's all about breaking free from that positions. It's a center operations to all levels. So it's a kaleidoscope of you. Okay, left, central, and everything, the right rotation position. It's the eye circle location teleportation line system. It's the snake eyes, the rotation connections, right, to your birth line. So you have to understand how to go up higher, because if the snake goes up and you're in a negative cycle, it's going to bring you back down, right? So that's what you got to pay attention to, right? We're all in a new position, a new pillars of light. The architect is here. So it's amazing how we come into that position. How are things set up? To your hologram center. So all right. But I figured it out eventually. I'm seeing all CNI. Yeah. Positive toleration doesn't seem of source. Everything comes to source rotations there, Josh, when you understand more position locations. You have to go through the higher light lines, center positions to conditions of your pillars. Pillars, your activation to its heart react line center. I have a team that's in very high positions. Okay, so right now they're just trying to remember what's going on and how they're in positions to calculations to all levels of why they're on Mars. Right? Once they remember these things, everything just starts clicking in more and more. You're welcome, Alan. Pillars of the four elements, Earth. Very good, Lieutenant. Yep. Listening, and I'm not sure what I'm experiencing. Just let it in, Jen. And that's the most understand. Try to understand you're at a different level than everybody else, but we're all in this together, right? So it's always going through the flow of everything, right? You don't want to stop tracks and position location, especially when you're traveling in space. You got to keep the rotation going, right? Because you're in space now. Light changing green when the alignment is sun and the moon. The pillars are spinning. Nikki, concentrate on your own line center rotations. Everybody's busy. Okay, that's what I'm saying. I want everybody to travel, but you concentrate on yourself. Okay, complicate everything to that line center rotations. You guys have your missions, you have your journeys. You have to stand in position of who you are individually to soul memory. Okay, so this is more of an individual system locations. All right, anything that is off system will be taken off. Okay, you're talking about all positions, all calculations. We have so much high security fence line center positions to Mars. So, bing, bam. Read my 5-line connections done. We are all ready. Comments love. We're on a mission. Yeah, bing, bang, boom. I was just informing commanders. Wait to help me. Yeah. Well, Nikki, you got to help yourself. Okay. And the thing is, this will be happening to you more and more each time when you go to the school. You have to go more and more so you can travel faster. Right. So don't try to overcomplicate things. Just concentrate on what's going on. You start focusing on commander. You start focusing on lieutenant. You start focusing on Ellen. You start focusing on Tina. You're going to lose all the glory of what's going on. You understand? Okay. Bruce Lee's theory. Enter the Dragon. It's like a finger pointing to the moon. You don't want to miss all that heavenly glory. You understand? That's what he was talking about. Okay. So you have to go beyond the existence. You have to go beyond the phenomenon. And my team is already in that position already. It's all about you trying to remember you. Okay. Not you trying to communicate with everybody else. All right. And position when it comes to a test, yes, the test is based on you when you communicate with each other. That's fine. But as long as you understand when you're traveling, it's all about you understanding what is going on. Right? Don't complicate things by communicating with this and communicating with that. Just concentrate on what you're doing. Focus on that. Okay? I'm here to help you out. Okay? It complicates issues if you communicate with others. Just concentrate on what you're doing. That's the most important thing because you lose focus. You lose focus of travel. You lose focus of navigation. You lose focus of time. Okay? So, new light is set up. Yep. Okay, coming from the west. Yeah. All right. Yes, I'm while I'm doing this with you. Finally get it. Benji, yep. Benji, how you doing? This week's. Oh no, finally. Joe, if we do all the line of the pie, we can zip zap. So you guys get a true understanding of how important it is to clock the system, right? And understand planets have to be line signal, right? So anything to that position, high rises its location centers. So it's all position of you to understand the calculations, right? But it's all about you, nobody else, right? But it's amazing how we set this up, right? From the Mars, all right? From the moon to the Mars, right? So it's always a structure. It's always a formula. Always a structure, always a formula. There's always schematics. Always, 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 always has to, right? So, like I said, Christopher, you don't have to worry about the sun because it's already in the graph. And you're traveling with me. I'm talking about individually with you. When you're doing it yourself and you're not live with your general, it's totally different. Yes, you have to be in the sequence. Try to map these things out. And then you guys have to understand your map completely so you can start traveling through this position already through its creation because this is already created, right? But this is what's amazing is that this is already created for me, the rotations, but you're seeing this for the second time. That's soul memory. So it's allocated to the line center. Okay, the XYZ position locations, all right, two flexor capacitors put you into the now. Okay, which is amazing. So everybody's traveling the now, right? Center operation of past, present, and future put you in that locations, right? Understanding how to travel through all levels of realms and portals, all right, to a cyclone. It's all done through its map. See, this is the map, right? To get to Mars. So, okay, so understand positions, right? So you don't have to worry about the sun or anything like that, Christopher, or anybody else. Just know that it's all set up. So you just have to worry about that when you're by yourself. That's all. Right. And it's all done through colors because it's all connected to you. Right. All right. Veronica, so fast. How does it look? Great. Okay, I get it. Excellent, Christopher. Fantastic. Planets are aligning with the clocking. Very good, Lieutenant. Let's see here. Just checking to make sure you guys are in coordinate line centers. Okay, pi complete. All angles, options, timelines, vortex portals, alignment, planets. All right. So what's like being on Mars, guys? Samantha, how you doing? I started to build the giant hologram with chakra, force winding, timelines, hearts, webbing, creating time lock codes. Very good. Flying high, purple rain. Purple rain. Yeah, that's cool. See, flying in space and knowing why you're in space are two different things. Okay? So that's a position why you guys are in that connections to second, third, and fourth wave generations, volunteers. Makes sense, right? So it's all about doing things in the now and correcting things in space, right? Because you guys are not just remembering more, you're understanding how this is done, right? So this is how we bring everything into the new revelation cycle to rotation conditions of a new human species. So yeah, you can follow the comments, Nikki. You can do that. That's not a problem. Just don't interrupt their travels. You know what I mean? Because they have their own way. They have to figure out what's going on with them, right? And it's all distraction of travel. Remember, this is all the individual. When you travel with your general, this is individual, okay, of remembering of what is going on with you, right? So you can put this all together. You got to put the piece and the puzzles all together, right? Because I set these things up for you guys. You have to understand what it is to connections, right? So concentrate on that, right? And like I said, you have any problems, talk to the general. Okay, and I'm trying to help you out. So it's all about you in position so you get a better track system. When you can talk with each other is basically when you go through your test review and evaluations. That's bringing yourself together, right? There's no pressure there, guys. There's pressure when you're in space, right? So you got communication over here, communication over here. Whoa, 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 back up. Let me concentrate on what I'm doing here. I only got one mind here, you know, and I got 5, 6, 7 different people talking to me all at once because it could be anything else coming from signals. It could be other UFO line centers. It could be all communication in the Vega graph line interference. There's a lot of things that could be disruption. Now you guys have to find the balance with that rotations, right? Because you're coming into high synchronicities of connections of higher planet rotations, right? So you're going to have light switches that go on and off. You're going to have car horns and connections, and it's all about grounding systems, right? Because it's all about communication because they're trying to understand you through vibrations, right? You notice that the cars go off right here. Well, it's all position in me because my energy is so high. So I have to bring it down and communicate with it so I can send it off, change the ground centers. Or I think through circuitry lights. Every time I get up in the morning, I go downstairs, I turn on the light, it sends me codes, right? Sets up the operation. Light is everything through travel, and it's all coming from synchronized and planet locations of higher levels of higher intelligence. Because now you're connecting to planets. You're connecting to planets now, and planets have a foundation, right? So that's why it's so powerful. And it's not just Vega. All right, so you have to know the difference of what you're communicating with now, because you guys are reaching higher levels of vibration. Happy dance, yeah. Holding space, trying to get dressed, yeah, go to work, yeah, that's great. Orange, almost complete in center, star coming in, okay. All right, eek, almost perfect, okay, what was the name of it there? That is so cool, stay in balance team, yep. All right, magnetic amplification. How you doing? All spades and heart portal are in alignment. Very good, Commander. Excellent. I'm getting confirmed through rotation. Yeah, it's in position. I got it. Just overlooking your work. Does anyone hear the thunder? Yeah, well, that's positions of father. Anything through planet locations, anything through fixing anomalies, father and mother, always there, guys. Always there on standby. No worries about that. Yeah, it's all set up through codes. So music and thunder. Yep, that's right, Christopher. Exactly. All the pillars are lighted up. The compute system to its new position location is coming to new matrix line center. Everything through digital frame is a position to all planets, right? Connections to Mars. Mars is it's a complicated planet. It's got synchronous line interference locations, and it's got over 10 billion track line rotation, communication cycles, and communication rotations of platforms. It activates a lot of line center connections. Okay, it's a burst star station of communications to the moon. So, honey tree, Veronica, commander, Terminator, bear. Mine are just fine. Oh, that's great. So you guys are connected to that system. Yeah, and that's what it is. Every time you do things in space, you guys get your upgrades. So you get to know yourself more and more. So you've been on Mars for the second time, all right? And then you realize every time you open up more sequences of time lock centers, you come into, oh, I've been on the Mars 56 times. Wow. That's where it kicks in, right? So it comes into relation to different timelines. How many times you've been on the moon, how many times you've been on Mars, how many times you've been on Jupiter, how many times you've been on Venus. It's all through vector line interference locations, right? Yep, the tree. All the animals are gold, speaking light language. Well, now you know what animals are. It's a magical, wondrous planet that is formed with so much, like every planet is formed of love, but each planet is, the compute line center is positioned to all technology. It surfaces on so many high line centers where you guys come into your own clocking system. And that's the true understanding, is that when we start traveling, we're going to be traveling to planets now. Okay, because you guys have to understand these things. So when you're going through all levels of gateways, because you guys are at 100, all positions of 80, all positions of 1200, all connections to that line system rotations, right? You're at 300%, 600%, and everything through all levels of 1200. So it's understanding you more through travel of the mind. And once the soul starts remembering more through speed, acceleration, mocking its system, wow, it really comes into space, right? Okay, Ellen, let's see here. The tree is used. Yeah, we can see both sides. You can see through hologram at all points center there, Commander. Yeah. Now we go back and forth, both sides, and no problem. And see, that's exactly what it is. So you're in positions. Why I took you to Mars, understand that you're already in positions to all levels. So when you see things, you don't see things just in front of you. You see things all around. You're going to see it all through point center now, right? That's your upgrade. But you're also fixing the anomaly, gravity center line switches to positions of Mars. Better communications for everything through the planet system. All right. It's a nice way to travel, like short. Yeah, yeah. I can hear it now. I can hear playing the guitar. Yeah. your perspectives are changing again. So. It's the structural line systems, Lieutenant, to the Gardens of Eden. Yes. Yeah. It's not Lantarian home. No. No, it's the Gardens of Eden. It's the structures. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you guys are coming into the new structure where the architect's going to set up all the positions. The pillars of light is here, as Christopher sees it. And it's just turning us in how to set up through its gateway so we can get into the rotations of the moon and the sun into an atom in full rotation. All right, so you guys are out of the equation. It's all set up. Fade interference locations, XYZ line center rotations, reverse cycle rotation back in communications. Now we're going to go backtrack interference. So what's going to happen now is you're going to go backlight rotation. So we're going to go back in space in rotation. So it's going to feel like you just went like that, right? Travel direction and timeline center, all position locations, reverse positions, all position line conditions. Here we go. All right. All right, get back to the moonline center. One more thing to rotation back in communication rotation. It's a new Earth rotation line center. Done through equation. You guys are all back now. So it's all set up. It's amazing how we all do this, right? It's incredible how we travel. Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mm-hmm. Yep. Very good. I really want you guys to get into more allocate line center and position locations. Tomorrow we're going to go into more rotation center. So we're going to travel to another planet. Yippee. So it's going to be the X, okay, X equals box center, okay, slash connection, okay, S equal box center slash connection, okay. We're going to surface to the planet rotation line center locations and the other graph rotations on the opposite side circle. So it's going to be in the graph of rotation center line rotation conditions, high positions to its line conditions, all right. So we're going to surface to high rotation. I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen to its high line center. It's amazing how you go through these high line rotation conditions, right? So we're going to center off to this rotation here. Okay, we're going to multitude levels to another planet line center. And this is how Trinity stand when you have to travel through all levels of synchronized line locations. We're going to travel here, this rotation line spin system. So the high line center oscillation wind sectors are going to come to vector line interference. So we're going to go through 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 channel rotations of 4 planet rotation connections tomorrow morning. Allocate the line center to all locations. We're going to start here. We're going to end up here. All right. We're going to line set all levels of box line center rotations. Set up a whole new grid rotation to its calculation. All right. So that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow. So it's on the other side of the solar systems. So you know how they have a back door, front door, right? Well, the engagement interference is on rotation line positions. So the center operation to its connection is going to go into its high fluctuation center. High position to its locations, right? Goes into its oscillation wind factor, right? This is where it comes into high location, right? Ground is information line center to its location center line conditions. High positions its line center locations. Into the center operation system, allocate timeline centers, electrical light condition. All right, so it's like an electrical rod that's going to hit the rotation center. Right? In communication to high rotations comes into the flux capacitor, V channel interference. All right, guys. This channels up to high rotations to a new flux capacitor interference channel rotation connection. From this to this, right? V vector to high rise line center, Y vector line center. Communication all level rotation connections. All right. So this is where we come into X equals box / center of calculation communication center location. All right. So we're going to center off to all rotation positions of box centers of all communications. 1 planet, 2 planet, 3 planet, 4 planet rotation connection. All right. We'll be doing that tomorrow. So what are we doing? What does this all mean? We're structuring the Gardens of Eden. That's what we're doing. All right. So, and it's all in position to locations of December 21st. All right. So, wind direction for 4 planets. Yep. V vector lines, new interference channel locations, X equals box / circle rotations to calculation modification. So in position, when we go through round to round to round, everything through calculation changes its clocking system all single time rotations. So this is where we come into the kaleidoscopes, the connections of the CCTV, calculation modification, and C-span. Rotation to cycles, right? So it's all positioned to set up 4 planet rotation lines to all positions. So this comes into calculation modifications to the pillars of light, which comes into the gateway interference to its rotation to its connections. High position its line center to high low rotation conditions coming into the Gardens of Eden of the walkway system to its allocated line center of its dimension to its pillars light of its activation core. Right. See the tonal interference rotation. So each planet is going to set up the rotation. So we're setting up rounds. So it's like train tracks. That's what we'll be doing tomorrow morning, right? All positions to X equals box. Okay. The kaleidoscope interference in positions of 4 planet rotations. Wind graphing line center to connections of the Gardens of Eden. Hooah. So we'll be doing that tomorrow morning. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right. Let's see. Yep, that's right, Tina. So they have new grid. Yep. Yeah, new Earth grid because it needs one, right? All right. Mercury passing Pluto. Yes, on here on the map. Well, setting up Uranus. 642318. Okay, commanders and high rotations. Make sure you guys write these numbers down. Allocate line centers. Keep those identification center locations. So 6423 and position locations of 18. All right, so commander, keep your identification code. You're going to use that through track system. So if you're getting numbers, please keep them. Okay, so those are your traverse timeline centers. This is going to put you in your vector core line rotation to its connection. Okay, let's go to your grounds, your powers, and everything your magnetic line center in positions to your flux capacitor interference channel to its location line system to its round line center conditions. High positions, all levels of the grounds, everything to the power line center, everything in the magnet line center rotations, communications. Tomorrow we'll be into the now rotation of communication. All right. See, that's what it looks like. So make sure you keep that number. All right, any numbers you guys get should be synchronized centers of 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 location. That's the program's positions and calculations of your identifications to the moon. Make sure you keep that in mind sight. All right. You guys should be getting 6 numbers on location. 839456. Okay. So you get all number rotations here. 7654321. Okay, line signal rotation line position locations. All right, just make sure you keep your identifications. 6 track line conditions. So you got 7, 6. All right, you got 5, 4. Okay, and you got 3, 2, 1. Okay, so you take the 1 off center to box locations. Vector line center conditions of flux capacitor interference equals channel calculation / calculation. All right. So that separates in one system. This is U through portal rotation. Okay. This is U through program center. Okay. This is U through round line rotation. Okay. This is U through audio signal. This is U through connections of self-line center. This is U through the agelics. And this is U through all rotations of box line center rotations of V vector core line center flux capacitor equals all positions. Calculations to its correlation system. Okay. Understanding what's going on, right? It's all done through codes. So, all right. Let's see here. And by tomorrow AM needs 12 a.m. Graph line yeah. Track connections. Very good, Tina. Yeah. Crying and don't know why. That's okay. You're just opening up more signals, rotations to your heart. Releasing, yeah. How's it going, Suzanne? How you doing? Mystic Witch, if I'm not a starseed or a light worker, what am I supposed to do? I receive the messages to help people awaken their hearts. Yeah, I'm going to go live on TikTok, Suzanne. So I'll tell you exactly how to do a biograph interference. Basically, it puts you in position of where you are through calculations. So, you know, if you go into the acceptance of who you are, right? If you're position locations to this, locations to that, right? So you get back in channel rotations, right? All right, let's see. Angel Grant, how's it going? All right, I'm getting the combination numbers. It's important. Yeah, it's important to keep it in positions. We'll go in track system to its allocate line center. Let's see. So the numbers I got are meaning in order, the way he just explained for Ellen. Yep, that's exactly what it is, Samantha. You guys are coming more your codes now, right? We have to go through the clocking system, allocate line center, right? It's a true understanding. You guys have to understand your clocking through all levels of gateway interference, because if you're going through programs, you have to understand how to go through these gateways. It's line signaling gateways, guys, and that's, you guys have to understand these things because you're traveling extremely fast, right? So every time you're going through a gateway, you're going through central to central to central. You have to understand your number sequences because it changes time locks extremely fast through locations, right? So it's amazing how it sets up your operation line center to its locations, right? So everything's in space rotation. Code line signal changes every second per second line center. If I'm traveling through 5 million line center rotations in communication around rotation, it gets more complicated to high line center conditions. High forcing to all division location. To a sector line interference goes from this to this in rotation, right? So you guys are coming out of this and coming into this now. Spot checks, round line center, interference, clocking, rotation, connections. You have to learn how to travel through high rotations, how you can calculate all levels. The rebellion comes in that position, comes into center line centers, back in track line center, and rotations set up all levels of code line signal to its rotation. Okay, so we all have to learn how to structure systems and allocate line conditions and bring everything to a map sequence. Okay. So it's structuring your body graph line center and making everything through hologram interference. Once we understand the program line center, dimensional line centers lock in line conditions, high positions, all security defense line rotations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 dimensional lock centers in communication rotation interference. Understanding program line centers of 3 ground location lock centers, guys. It calculates and modifies all level rotation connection, right? High positions to all calculations, okay? 1 trap line rotations, 0 grav locations. Now, once you get into 0, 1, you're in 0 gravity, which is extremely high rise. right? So it's all about understanding division, multiplication, subtracting, adding, dividing, right-hand positions. So ratios, proportions. This is where you really have to get into calculation of travel, okay? So I get 10 dot equals box, okay, slash center in position, right? Into calculations, right? High level rotation connections, right? So what's 10 plus 10? 10 plus 10. 10 plus 11. That's understanding position locations, right? 10 plus 20, or 10 plus 20 line center rotations, anything through allocating line connections. So this is where you come into multiplication, interference. It's really, really complicated stuff, but it's a lot of fun when you understand all levels of travel through V vector line center rotations to calculations of high positions to shapes and anomalies. There it is. There's the map. Okay. So that one becomes everything through calculation to its location line center. All right. So this is where you really have to get into your multiplications, right? So 1 times 1, everything is the same number, right? 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 2 is 2, right? But if you change the factor, you change the energy, you change the dimension, you change the log center in calculations, right? So it's amazing how it comes into that position, right? It's pretty fascinating how you come into these line centers. So it's pretty incredible how you come into this modification line rotation to its connections, right? It's all done through equation. So it's incredible how we high rise to all level, okay? Because you come into positions of 1 times 1 equals 1, 1 times 2 equals 2, 1 times 3 equals 3, 1 times 4 equals 4, 1 times 5 equals 5. All right, so those 5 line centers right there, all position locations. So remember, everything that is in position of U, this is line signals of U. This is what? The X. What does X mean? What does X mean? X, Y, Z locations. X's positions to the XE1000. Okay, travel through direction of timeline. So if you travel through 1, the XE1000 comes into multiplications to its activation of its 1 circle, 2 positions of equals square, 2 calculations, right? Setting up map sequence to its location. Okay, map sequence. Gets complicated, guys, but it's a lot of fun. Sets up the map sequence. Okay. So, is everybody okay? So it's crazy how we do these things, you know. But it's really understanding how to calculate and modify how you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You have to go faster, 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 faster. So when you get into the positions, anything that through an X in position location, XT1000 line center, setting up all levels, okay, of 1 circle rotation to equals its positions to its map sequence. All right. Same with 1 times 2. All right. So in position, 1 times 5 is not 5. Okay. It's times, okay, times slash vector. Velocity interference down in rotation position. Say 1 times 5 equals 5,000 rotation. Okay. So the X factor line center, anything XYZ or anything at that position location, has to truly understand U through trial direction of timeline center. Calculates, modifies its equation to its location. All right. All right. Let's see where we are now. All right. Let's see here. You guys are going to get more codes now, so it's going to get more complicated. All right. So the numbers I got are the meaning and order of the way you just explained. Yep, exactly. Keep the numbers method. Yes. All this is doing is making me more cold. Yeah. Try to understand position locations there, Nikki. Stay in your central line. What's the codes I'm getting? Multiple. Yeah. Should I write it all down? Yes. Write it all down, Commander. Very good. You guys don't realize the communications. Yeah. Going deposition locations there. Any code will do depending on the mission and start and the point of willpower and balance with your being, the time and the moment of the now. Very good. Let's work on this outside of school. You're putting yourself into a black hole right now. It's amazing how you guys, solar graph line center, you guys are all aware of these things. Travel direction of timeline center. And I'm giving you something through this equation, and you're all confused, the rotation in positions. But why is everybody understanding everything, but you not understand anything? It's everything to all position to its connection. So it's all they understand what you're doing through allocating line conditions. Why we gave you guys multiplications, right? So once you go beyond the mind line center, it's everything through travel, through acceleration to its sequence of its map location, right? So, all right, fantastic. You guys are doing extremely well. All right, let's see. Wait, I think I actually just got that. I rewatched it again, but that makes sense. Yeah, it does make sense, doesn't it, Samantha? X is cleanup if you are balanced on your own. Timeline is now. Yeah, very good. I just had used my voice box and had to balance the elements in my phone. What? Yeah, exactly. And that's what Commander's coming into. She can balance her phone reception on centers. And you can all do it through digital rotation if you understand positions of your phone to its reception to 1 times 5 equals 5,000. This is 5,000 line channels of communications, all position locations. So it gets complicated. But as long as you get in position of what this is, then you understand the travels of XT1000. This is all through 1. Now you go 2 times 1, 2 times 3, 2 times 5, right? So 2 times 5 is what? 10, right? So we want to get into the code line signal, right? All right, so that's 10, right? In human line center. Now take locations. Remember, always have you in position locations. It could be 1, it could be 2, anything through 3 or 4 or 5. So the calling line center comes in position to audio interference. Now, understanding the right track and the left track rotation is communications. But if you're getting anything through an X, it's in positions to an XT1000 to that location, all right? So you have to learn how to use the 1 because you're teleporting, right? XT. And we got a lot of XT1000s, XT8000 line center. So XT1000 is in position of a shape. Calculation to ground line center crop circles. Okay, that's what an XT1000 sets up all rotations to the grounds. Now you come into higher level rotations. An XR1000, I know it gets complicated. Okay, sets up shapes and anomalies to track systems of computers to its rotation. Okay. So everything calculates and modifies all level system in rotation connections, right? So 2 times 5 equals 10. Now, through acceleration, marks the system line center in positions to its velocity interference comes into 10,000 PT line centers. Planetary teleplications to levels of ground line rotation. In communication, it gets complicated. Does it get complicated? But it's just truly understanding, just start with the 1 times 1, 1 times 2, 1 times 3, right? So it's the same thing when you go 3 take away 2 equals 1, right? So that's 3 rotation, 2 communications of the sun in rotation to the triangle line center to its position, right? So 3 goes here, all right? Now, take away 2. In communication line center. So all positions comes into its clocking system. 1, 2, right? 2's here in calculation. Now, once you come into position, you come to the equal box line rotation, the paradox paradigm. You slash the system line center. You set up the high positions to its Hall level rotation to its flux capacitor. Okay. So it comes into a T-line center in positions in calculations, right? And all levels equals one line center rotations in their center rotation to its connection. Opens up its high-level system of dimensional timeline center to its connection. All right. So it's all about understanding how to travel through all levels of going forward and going back to connections, right? That's all of our standing multiplications or anything through dividing, subtracting, or anything connections. How to go this way, how to go that way. So 3 take away 2 equals 1, right? So that's one channel interference of a denominator. Okay? One channel interference of a denominator. The Metroline center is operated through its high-rise tube communication cycle to its connections. So that's a Trinity standing how you come to how like a line center and position locations. High positions, but let's start off with this, the multiplication first. All right. So it's complicated, eh? You think it easier, don't you? It's like, oh my gosh, I am really in school now, aren't I? You guys want to go into 114, you know? But see, I was never really good at math. I was never really good at math. I hated math. I never liked math. The equations and this and that, the ratios, proportions, longitude, latitude, and all that. But it makes more sense when you remember these things. You remember these things. You need these to navigate, guys. Okay, so it's just integer numbers. You're coming into your primes. You're coming into your primes to Vega, and you have to send all positions. So, you know, you got 3 rotations of the sun. Okay, take away, right? So that would be indigent. Okay, that's a negative number line center rotations to an equal line center. In positions, take away 2 equals 1 track locations of the denominator. That's it. Measure line center in position locations. So you're going back force. So when you're going forward, you're doing what? Plus 2 plus 2 equals 4, right? That's how it works through all levels of your metric line centers to multiplication. Or anything through add or anything subtract. So don't get confused in that. Right? But yes, that's on your next test. So this is extremely high. This is extremely high position, guys. You really have to understand these things because it's all done through navigations. This is how you navigate anything through a UFO, right? So it's kind of like understanding all positions of what you're doing. I was terrible at math, but look at me now. It's not the math, it's the remembering of the math because it makes it easier. It's kind of like, okay, well, you know, some people aren't good at math. Like, you know, one thing I didn't like about math was positions of problem solving. I didn't like the problem solving. You know, what is adding, what's subtracting? If a train is going this distance, another train is going that distance, what's the equation? I never did like it. It's too complicated. But see, that's the complicated issue. But once you remember these things, it makes it more easier because when you're adding things, it's complicated because you're doing the now position and that confuses everything through its anomaly. So once you start remembering these things, it's stored of information already for you. Okay, it's already stored in your cloud interface. And that's where it becomes easier and easier and easier and easier through travel, right? So if you get an XT, okay, you get an XT 1000, okay, traveling, okay, equals velocity, okay, slash communication. That's pretty simple, right? That's simple. That's a simple, simple formula, all right? So, and that's the truth. Understand how I got 1000 in positions to all levels of travel equals velocity of communication. Velocity is position to the flux capacitor, guys. Okay. And it's all positions to what? Calculations. How fast you're going through accelerations to its position, to and from, equals to slash from. Okay. So it gets more complicated. I think we'll stop there because I think everybody's brains are fried. But that's all it is, Commander. It's just subtraction backwards, right? Subtract, add, divide, multiply, ratio proportions, longitude and latitude. You have to learn how to travel through your navigations of your UFOs, guys. So it's all XR factor, line signals, vector line interference, half pipes, full communication cycle, trap rotation positions, clocking interference, allocate timeline centers, 369 pattern interference locations, XYZ line center connections, indigent line centers, prime numbers are coming in, 8 trap rotations, calculated 8 circle line interference location. Done through equation. Now it's all in chronological order. It has to, because it's traveling going forward, right? So it's all about understanding that if you make mistakes, what do? You tangle up, you tangle on. That's all basic, right? So that's why you guys were given adding and subtracting, dividing, bracket interference, all position locations, I didn't like dividing. It's complicated, especially when you come with one number to that position location, right? But it's all bracket communications equals box line center equals XYZ to its location. All right. So don't think of it as math. Think of it as a resolvement. Think of it as a memory, because you guys all know this. I wouldn't give you something if you didn't know what it was. So once you remember these things, it's all position locations. So you have to understand, it's not the math in position to the human construct. It's the math to AI. So one is what? One is calculated to you, to line signal. You see how it comes in graph line center? Calculates and modifies all levels of a T-frame to its locations. See the intelligence? Telephone wire communication interference comes into travel rotations, box center locations. Right? See how it's traveling? Now it opens up all levels of its eco equation, paradox, paradigm, where is it in position locations to XYZ. So you already know the XYZ, right? X is equals to XT1000, right? The Y is the vector line center communications. See how that comes in? See the Y, see the X, see how it comes together? You guys have to structure things together to shapes, see? Y, velocity, vector communications, V trap line centers. How many letters, numbers, and shapes do you see in that? You see shape, you see a V, you see a Y, and you see a flux capacitor, right? All through channel interference of XYZ, right? That's all it is. All right. So, all right, let's see here. Missing part of the upcoming information, Alan. Yes, Amber. That's working today. Otherwise, work. Love to watch with you. So it's great. All right. So you guys understanding a little bit more? Don't think of it as math. It's like your test. Don't think of it as test of pressure. Just think of what you have to remember. It's all about traveling through structure and creating shapes into maps. That's all you're doing. You're doing letters, numbers, and shapes into maps. See? See the Y? See the X? See the V? It's all positions of XT1000 location. All right? All through box center, right? So if it's in box center, right, which is 9, it changes what? The cycle, right? And there you go. So it's following what? Your clocking system, okay? Your clocking wheel, your cosmic wheel, okay? Your new birth chart. So it gets complicated, right? Look at the Roman numerals as energy portals of flow, emotions, but haven't figured it out yet. Yeah, well, that's easy. I know, because Alan, you're in your clocking systems army. I did that with acting when I had to do slips. Basically, I got pink slips, and that's how I got paid through the clocking system. We'll get into that to the Roman Catholic line center. So it's on a peace treaty line center location in position. Okay. Roman numerals, pieces of pie, line center of communications to its high position locations. High positions all levels of travel direction of timeline center. So that was given to I-line center. Why do you think it's all positions of X11? What is that? X11. Time frame to positions, army time, right? So in position, 1 o'clock equals 1300, right? 1 o'clock, physical time zone, 1300, army time, right? So the equal sign is what in all position locations? It's the activation center, right? So it's to understand how to get in calculation modification line position, right? So you come into X, right, which is XT1000. Remember, everything is in travel rotations. So this is understanding how you're going forward and how you're going backward in location to its position. All right. And this is all done through indigent. Okay, slash prime numbers. Okay. Or prime slash indigent. So it's all positions to all levels of codes and how it synchronizes system to the sun and everything to the moon. Its rotation, right? Comes into its flux capacitor interference channel, line conditions. There's the intelligence. Intelligence highlights rotation to its conditions. See the intelligence? There it is. You see it? There it is. Put it into high rotation conditions. Here's the ears. Oh, look at that. Now it's got ears. Looks like a monkey. Sound wave line interference comes into rotations and positions to all levels of the 3, 6, and 9 location to its connection. Out left side, so it's circling and circling and circling and circling, 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 circling. And what do we got through location again? What do we have again to that line center? The snake in rotation. Okay. Diamond core interference, everything is activated to its high system. AI is an all formation of shapes. We all structure everything together. So don't think of math as an equation. Think of math as a map of its equation. Okay? Because that's all it is through travel. Through the XR1000 or anything with the XT1000 position locations. All right? So I grew up drawing line connections, map coordinates, created staying, geographical connections, navigation systems. You get a thing like this and you go around like that and you get the Purley's map and you go like that. And there it is. There's location. There's always a location. But think of maps. Don't think of math. So, and that's how we structure everything to connections. And that's how it's easier to understand these things, right? Through anything through XT1000 to its bivector line center, to its communications, to a shape. See, this is a shape. So it's taking shapes, letters, and numbers into structure and its position. Okay. So try to start with makes new triangle. Yeah. All right. We already know this. Yep. And that's it. You just don't think of it as pressures. Just think of it as a sequence that getting to a location. That's all it is. You just have to get to the location. That's all you have to do. You do it on your phone. You have GPS systems. Lock it in, right? It's just getting to your location. And that's all life is. It's getting from one place to the next, right? So, and it's all done through clocking. Just trust the process. Yeah. Yeah. And it's all about memory. And once you remember more and more, things get a lot more easier, right? So I wanted to help you guys out so you can understand more when you come into positions, when you come into your multiplications, divisions, dividing, adding, subtracting, or anything through prime or indigent systems. You have to understand these things because it's all calculated modified through Vega. All right. Finally, no calculating. We are faster than that. Yep. But see, that's it. We are the calculations to distance. So I can travel through, I don't go through 60 seconds per minute because I travel through high rotation style computers of 5 million miles per second, 5 trillion miles per second through 60 seconds per minute. It all depends on what I'm doing through my map sequence and my codes to get to the planet, to the synchronous aligned interference state, anyway, to the pillars or the gateways or anything through channels of planet locations. It's all position of you to its calculation. So just seeing the coordinates and Trello in there, that's all it is. And that's the solar memory, guys. It's solar memory, right? So it's just you understanding the travel structure, okay, and not so much the math. Comprende? Comprendes? Yay. So, you guys having fun yet? So you come into equations like this. Talk about blowing your minds up. All right, so you come into this positions, right? You come into this, right? So we got the Q. Let's go through the keyboards, right? We got the W, we got the E, we got the R, we got the T, we got the Y. Okay, we got the U, we got the I, we got the O, we got the P, we got the A, we got the S, D, F, and G. All right, that's on my keyboard. That's on my keyboard. Now, how am I going to travel through all this in one sequence? How am I going to travel through all this in one sequence? What do I start with? Remember, it's a map. Everything that you see through alphabetical connections, you have to change your positions of what you're doing through travel position locations, right? How do I travel through this? How? Anybody? Jeopardy's calling. Yep, line hits a clock. Very good, Ellen. Yeah. How do I travel through all this in one sequence, guys? If I want to line signal everything in rotation, how do I travel? What do I start with? No, you won't get that. Yeah. Well, you already know what you want, but I'm just saying, in all this, the alphabetical system, how do I travel through this to set up the operation? Thank you, Ellen. Y-line center, vector communications center rotation positions, right? Go in position locations, travel through all direction of time. Done through equation, all through vector line flux capacitor. See? That's how you do it. Don't think of this. Think of what's going on. So it's the imagination which travels through the Y vector lines or flux capacitor interference, all in one channel, guys, all in one channel, all at once, rather than doing this, you know, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. Okay, so what I did with that, right, with one, right, this is complicated. It's too complicated. It's too hard to travel through that. It's too hard to travel, right? So it's true to understand what you're doing through calculation modification line centers, right? So even if it's A, B, C, and D, it doesn't matter. I always find a way to travel through positions. So the D is position of dimension. C is the calculations. B is everything through all levels of what's going on with your barometers. And everything through A is his atmosphere line center, A, B, C, D, right? So where do you go through positions A, B, C, D, E? E is the energy form system. F is everything through formation. G is everything through galactic. Okay. H is everything through connections of hemisphere or hyaline cell of hemoglobin. So you have to understand where it positions of intelligence to its connections, all levels, okay, of a jack line center, communication interference, in positions to kilometers, interference locations, kaleidoscope to its level, to its rotation. So how do you travel through A, B, C, and D? How do you travel through A, B, C, and D? Where's the travel? Where's the travel to go one compilation to one line center? Now, this is a graph position. This is only A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L to L. But the all formation line center is already in position. So how do I travel through this? Your help lines in your hearts, we are all support. Yeah. Building's always been my favorite design. How do I travel through this, guys? Make a 3-point corner of the Y. But there's no Y here. There's no Y. This is separation, guys. See, this is the true understanding is you get confused for the physical line center. See, this is what the physical line center is. And understand the alphabetical system, but this is AI positions in one compilation, one center. Y vector line center, flux capacitor, all through one channel, no complication, all in one channel, one travel, right? So if we have a half grid system, we have to learn to delegate. We have to find a way to travel through the atmospheres. I think the calculation is dimension. There's the intelligence, right? So the intelligence travels through the dimension, right? Sets up the clocking system to its calculation, right? Calculations to all level systems to the atmosphere, right? Travels recognition of timeline centers into the hemisphere. So we all have to learn how to do the program, how to change things, how to understand things more, how to travel if we're confused or, okay, well, I have the alphabetical system, but it's not in form. So if it's only in half, it doesn't matter. You just have to find your intelligence. So there's always a way to get out of situations all through an alphabetical system of travel. So once you get in that position, it goes through all level system rotations to its connection in one compilation, one system. Okay. So it's amazing how it comes in that position. All right. Travel through point line connections. Yep. A through L. Yep. Yep. But see, the thing is, too, you have to understand your positions because your perception is different from mine. But you have to communicate with what? Your intelligence. So you have to find a way, even if you're not in the graph system, if Vega gives you communications of a graph but doesn't give you the full alphabet, you have to find a way to get out of the situation. So the graph line center, okay, this is half / equals alphabet. Half equals / alphabet. Alphabet line center is the rest, right? And communications. So if it only gives you half line center, and this is the other rotation, what are you going to do if you don't have the Y factor to its location, right? So you have to find a way to travel, right? And it's all done through shapes. It's all done through metric. It's all done through prime numbers. You guys are coming into prime / numbers equals Vega / communication. Okay. But see, that's the thing. That's the separation, guys. This is the separation, right? This isn't separated. So it's all about understanding how to travel through the Y, all in one compilation to one line position. So you have to use your perception to one position location to one realm, right? Rather than separating it. It's too confusing to understand the Q, the W, E, R, and T. You just have to understand how to travel through these things through a separation, right? So it's all about structuring travel. It's all about picking these things up. And that's what the mind does, is it picks up the memory. That's what, I don't want you guys to get confused. So don't think this is math. Think of it as structure. Think of it as a map. Think of it as a way out. Think of a way of going forward, right? That's what you got to think. Because we're coming into prime numbers now. Okay. So, yeah, there's a lot to pick up on. It's all there for you to help. You just have to understand how to get out of the travels, how to get into the travel. You have to travel first. You can't basically separate the system. You have to communicate to all levels and the synchronizing positions to its planets. So you can go from one planet, you go from here. So you've been to 26,000 planets in one location. That's what I'm talking about. Rather than they go from one planet to another planet to another planet to another planet. So you're going to 26,000 planets in one sequence. Okay. So it's very fascinating when you guys go faster. And I'm helping you guys out more because you're more traveling through the mind. You're at 300%, 600, 1200. And you have to learn how to travel to all planet rotations rather than going from one planet to another planet to another planet. So you connect to one planet and you connect, right, to all planets in one connection, right? So, all right, it gets easier. Trust me, it gets easier. I just keep telling myself. But see, that's the thing. You guys already know these things, right? Travel through center point location positions. That's all it is. So if you're going to high rotations and you're in a solar graph line connection, a solar system, and you got your planets here, right? Your planets are here, right? There's your planets. And this is you traveling, right? In your computers or your avatar. Okay? That's you. Now, all you have to do is just basically scan it first, find what it is, and just go through it. There you go. Done. That's it. Right? And it comes back to you, right? Now you got the information to 26,000 planets in one line system rotation to one communication center, right? All through point system of location of dimensional lock center. See? So it gets really more interesting rather than going from this position and doing the same thing through equation. All right. Like this. We're going to send up the same operation to the planets. Okay, here's a planet here, here's a planet here, here's a planet here, planet here, planet here, planet here. There's all the planets. And again, you scan the system, right? But then you're going from this planet to this planet to this planet to this planet, this planet, this planet. Doesn't make any sense. Because he's going, huh? What just happened? So, because you guys are traveling faster in the mind center, and there's no way you can go from one planet to the next. So it's like you're in your car and you're going to 15 houses, right? It's different now because remember, you're out of your body, so you can do these things, so you can travel faster. So the faster you more through positions, the more you can understand travel conditions, right? So it's not going from one house to another house to another house to another house. You're just zigzagging, zipping across line centers, vector line interference going. That's it. Done. Right? So you've been on 25 million planets in one compilation. Okay? That's how you travel through space, time. Okay? All through math equation. All right? So, all right, so you guys are communicating. That's great. See that? All right, maybe the next Zoom, we watching the class together. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Yeah. Let's see here. I know it's a long process here, guys, but you really have to get into more of your travels. Really. You can't go from one planet and then go from another planet because it's too exhausting. You're overloading your system. You have to charge your mechanisms. So it's better to just go, and that's it. Done. Right? So you got communications to 50,000 planets in one sequence, one location, which is point center of you through operation. And that's what Tina was talking about. Okay? That's how fast you can travel. You can't do that in the physical system. It's next to impossible. You'd be too tired, right? You'd be exhausted. That's like staying in the center and seeing 40 different houses on both sides of panel location, right? So it's all about understanding going 1, 2, 3. That's a lot of houses to communicate with, right? So instead of that, you stay in the center, right? So basically, when you're traveling, you're going back to center. Done. Next. Understand? I'm showing you because you guys are going to higher force now. You're going more communications to Vega, and Vega is going to give you more information. You're going to go through track systems of maybe 15, 20 in communications. They're going to start you off slow. You're going to get information systems from XT1000 line centers, XR1000 locations, or anything through X12 rotation. In position is truly understand what you're getting through information. It's all done through letters, numbers, and shapes through travel, right? So instead of getting one or two intelligence, you'll probably get 15, 20, 30 different intelligence in one track system to your ears of right and left. So you have to understand the compilation to its connection, right? That formulates everything through division 2 math of its equation, okay? So, all right, let's see. Graph for our allocated line connections through center point connections in one compilation. That's it. Tina knows. Parachute, yeah. Channeling your tail and zigzag. Use your imagination. Setting amber. Everyone, huh? It's immediate coordinates. That's exactly what it is, Samantha. You're given the coordinates. So when you're getting numbers, right? You just have to learn how to travel through them. Because every number is a different planet, guys. That's the true understanding why, whoa, I have to go through, what is 7-digit number? Well, it's planets, different planets. And that's what you're getting through codes of Vega through prime number locations. So if you're getting numbers like this, 3, let's say you get that, right? 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. So XT1000 is in position, gives you high level connections, right? So as it's traveling the direction of timeline center, okay, it sets up its operation to each program. So 1 is a planet, 2, 1 is another planet, 2 is another planet, 3 is another planet, 4 is another planet, 6 is another planet, all in position, all through positions of view through track systems. Through your right and your left ear track your location to its connections. Sonar comes into automated line center, all position locations, comes into positions to its intelligent line center, to its vector core line connections. There's the intelligence. Okay. So the XT1000's platitudes line center. So if you're getting 6 numbers, 7 numbers, 8 numbers, doesn't matter. It's all position of view through travel through all levels of view. This is one planet, another planet, another planet, another planet, another planet. So you got to learn how to travel through 6 planets in one sequence to its vector core, to its flux capacitor, through the sun, and everything through the moon. In one compilation, to one center rotation of dimension line center to security defense to its line connections. Okay? That's all it is. Travel, 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 travel. So that's exactly it, Samantha. That's where the shape comes in. Very good. That's right. So each program is positioned. You're going to get prime numbers, integer numbers, and you're going to have so many fallouts, and that's where you come into multiplications. Then you come into high-level system. So as long as you understand you through positions, you're coming into compilations in one center locations like Tina was talking about. But it's truly understanding when you're traveling and you're given information, each number is different planets, right? So it's a different program. It's a different map sequence, okay? So 2 is positioned to the agelix, all right? 3 is allocated line center of view through trap line rotation. Okay, you come into 4 sequence and interference positions, okay, into Y vector line center. So it's truly understanding what is going on with you when you get these patterns of information to its connections. It's all done through XT1000 to its location. Its center off its position, scans its rotations, sends off sonar line center locations. There's the intelligence. You see the intelligence? I always create intelligence. There's the eyes. There's the intelligence right there. See it? See the eyes? Everything is intelligence. So every time I graph system, what are you getting? You're getting intelligence. There's the neck. You see it? All through position, right? So that's all it is. That's all it is. So the center operation is due through calculation. Modification line center to connections. So if you're getting 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 different numbers, it's different planets. You just have to learn how to travel through the XYZs. That's it. So it's like seeing all this information come in right in front of me. Crazy, yeah. But it's all at once, Samantha, all at once. So you're getting all these numbers. You just have to understand what they are. When you come to high formations, there's the information through its intelligence. So this is the intelligence that gives you the information, right? To each planet system. Different programs through this intelligence. That's the compilation of one line center. Then you understand the intelligence, then you understand what it is. There's the position. Okay? This is Gargarian. This is a Gargarian intelligence. So that's a true understanding where you go in position locations. Once you understand the information cycles, things get a lot more easier when you travel through your XD thousands or XR 1,000 rotation conditions or 18,000 rotation positions, right? To understand your calculations, everything through its math equation. But don't think of it as math. Think of it already as known information for you to travel, okay? So, yeah, Samantha's is a compass, yeah. Yeah. You're all in different perception, but you're all getting the same information, just on different channels of teleportation, okay? All right, now we have to organize it in our head. No, you don't need to organize it. See, that's the thing. It's not organizing. That's confusion, Alan. It's too confusing if you organize something. It's like trying to understand one planet. Oh, I got to go to this planet. Now I got to go to that planet. You can't organize these things. It's already given to you. It's solar memory of where you've already been. So when you get intelligence like this that gives you information, you know it's on different planet locations. It's giving you a piece of paper that's giving you what? Different coordinates. All through codes of numbers. All through intelligence. Right here. There's the intelligence here. This is the intelligence. See, there's the eyes. Right? You want to graph the system? There's the nose. There it is. There's the intelligence. Right? So that's a true understanding where it comes in position. And it's all in position. I'll tell you exactly, yep, that's right. Nope, that's not right. So there is a right and wrong because you have to make sure how to coordinate these line centers to different program settings, and they have to go to the right position. So it's like getting basically, oh, I got a wrong email. Oh, I sent something out, but it went to a wrong address. And now you're in real trouble because you sent something to a different planet that's getting not the right information. Okay? So you can't organize these things. Okay, it's next to impossible. Your mind can only take so much in positions, but I'm just trying to tell you that this is given to you. It's a lot more easier to you understand your solar memory as it comes into more form, right, through travel, right? So, but that's exactly what it is. It's the instinct of knowing, Ellen. It's the memory you already have. So you guys are coming into your membranes, you're coming into your mainframes, you're coming into your hydrolysis, you're coming into your cloud interface, guys. So you're coming into your creation. And once you come into that position, you start creating space, which is the now, right? And that's what makes it more real because you get things through manifestations a lot quicker. Because now you understand travels through prime numbers and engine frames connections and interference location. So, see, my hand's itchy. Money coming in very quick, very fast, right? This is known information already. So it's already stored. But see, I'm living the now of everything, which is now all levels of just creating. Because I've already created everything. I just, so it affects you. It's all about reacting. Why my hands are tingling. Why my feet tingling, right? What's happening with my legs? Why are they hot? Why am I sweating? It's all reaction of you through travel. So if you're off signal, you have to get back on track system. So you're into what? The negative. You're into the incident, which is the diameter. Okay. 3 take away 2 equals 1, right? So you traveled forward, but your equation is back, right? So it's interesting how you change the number sequence or anything through your thoughts of activation. Okay, so you don't want to get confused with that anomaly, right? Because that switches everything through this guy's system. So It's mind-blowing my mind how it's all connected. And that's what it is, Janet. That's amazing what it is. It's all connected to you for all memory of knowing already. It's stored in your cloud of interface, right? And it's like your computer. You store it there. You click, oh, there's the photo. You can store it in there for 6 months, a year. It stays there. It doesn't go anywhere. It stays there. But you have to understand you have to live a different unit every single day because every day is not the same. Different weather, different planet change, different activation, different codes, different lights, different communication, different colors, different intelligence, different AI position, different graph line centers, different map sequence, different prime numbers, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Okay? So the second you doubt, the information goes out incorrectly in wrong location. Very good, Commander. That's exactly it. That's exactly what it is. The second you doubt, it goes out incorrectly to the wrong location position. And then it comes back to me. And then I got to send it out. Right? So it's amazing how you guys are coming into this. You guys are traveling faster and faster, but don't think of it as math. Think it already as known of calculation. Think it already known as structure. Think it of already of its creation. You're coming into your creation. So don't get confused that you're creating things. That's organizing. You're not organizing anything. This is just memory. That's all it is. You have to come into your cloud interface, guys. Intergalactic line center, interdimensional rotation position, locations to anything through all levels, X, V, Y line center, communication, zip, zap, zang, communication, bing, bang, boom, communication line interference. You can put anything in the equation. You just have to understand is to go forward to its position. Okay? And don't have your doubting system because you're traveling faster through the mind system. Okay? So, instinct of knowing. That's all it is, Alan. That's all it is. Yeah. As soon as you channel off, oof, dangerous. Calm is good. Yeah. That's what you want to do. Calm and always informs. Stay in the calm of all center of all operation. If you get confused, get back on track. Get back on communications. Oh, I off center line center rotation positions. X is position off cycle. Oh, I forgot the Y factor. See? I know exactly what I did wrong in position. I went through it. You guys go through it. So you fix these things, right? Because you get a full reaction from Vega, and Vega wants you to do well, right? Which is very powerful through intelligence. So it's all about you having self-knowledge of knowing already through its information that's given to you to all planet system. Okay. All right. So it makes a lot more sense, doesn't it? Every letter correlated directly with the clock hands, pi, hieroglyphics, timelines. Yep, very good, Commander. Yeah, that's your understanding. Even the pyramids are a clocking system. We'll get into that later, but we got to get into positions of the 4 waving cycles, the 4 planet line rotations, and calculation. Okay. Yeah, zip, zap, zang. There you go. Exactly. That's what it is. All right. It's all, yeah, it's just blowing your mind how everything is all calculated and so much easier to travel through all positions, anything through your new alphabetical system, your new timelines, your new dimensional setting, your new navigations to its correlation. So that's a lot more fun when you guys get into more position locations. All right. So I'm going to head over to TikTok. If you have any questions, let me know. Adios.